it's your friend Lunatique, and I'm gonna do a movie review of Alien Romulus. Good, really enjoyed it, okay? It lived up. My expectations were low. We've seen lots of alien movies, you know? There just have been a lot out in the world. They keep making them, and we get the gist. There's always, it's gonna pop through the chest. It's just going to. It's just gonna burst. The alien is gonna latch onto the face. You know, we know how it goes. So that definitely does, and this is gonna be filled with spoilers. So if you don't want spoilers, don't watch this. Yeah, Alien Romulus. We start out, we're on this shitty ass world. It sucks. It's like a colony. It's literally never has any daytime. There's no sun. We're like, is this my life? This feels like my life. I like how in the future movies, it's like everything's shitty, and then you can be like, yes, everything is shitty. Ooh, I'm tired of going to work. It's like very relatable all the time. So it's kind of soothing in a way, the relatability of the terrible future. And everyone has to wear these like weird little jumpsuits. You know, everyone's just wearing like shitty clothes and everything looks like shit. That's the future, at least for some people, right? Am I right? It's funny because she goes to try to figure out how to get to this different world. Things are better. She has this, like at the beginning, she's like dreaming of being on like somewhere actually nice. Which every morning, don't we actually dream of being somewhere nice and not having to work our lives away in dismal conditions, you know? So she goes up to this lady that's like at this office type thing and is like, all right, I have enough years. I have worked for you. I've been an indentured servant basically, right? For all these years. And the lady's like, sorry, not enough years, more years. And we're all like, this is my life. This is me. That's how that goes. So we feel very bad for main character lady. Do I remember her name? No. Is it something like Katie Wright? Something like that. So they reject her plea to go to the different world. And so she's feeling very discouraged. And she has like an android brother type person who is kind of malfunctions sometimes, and the children are beating him, just like in the Joker movie when he gets beat up. We feel bad. We're like, leave him alone. He's just an innocent robot person. We don't need to beat him up. No. So this girl, she realizes she can't go to the better world. She has years more of indentured servitude to do. So she's not feeling great, obviously. And then she goes and meets up with some pals, some cool looking pals. There is I think, a girl with a shaved head, which I have a shaved head. I'm wearing a wig. Yes, so that made me feel great. I was like, yes, because you don't even know how much shit I take for shaving my head. It's constant. Everyone gives me shit about it literally all the time. There's a few people who are like, get it and think it looks cool and like it, and everyone else is just like, why? Why do you shave your head? 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 It just like becomes a lot. Yeah, so I get tired of it. But anyway, to see this representation of a female with a shaved head, I was thrilled. Lady girl meets up with all her pals and they're like, we got a plan. We're gonna go to the space station and steal their pod things where you can sleep in them and travel very far. This is my estimation of things. We're gonna steal those things and we're gonna get to our good old planet that actually is nice. We're gonna do it. And she's like, whoa, this sounds risky, guys. I don't know. And then she thinks more about it, clearly, and she ends up being down. Of course, we know what's going to happen. Terrible things to everybody just because they want a better life, right? This is so relatable. Just because you want a better life, then everything gets ruined, unfortunately. Yes, so they go up to the space station. in their little ship. I don't know, how did they get off work though? That's my question. How did they get a pass? And also, who is the lady who works in the office? Like, what is her life like? She's got to tell people all day, you have years more of indentured servitude. Does she get benefits? Is there health care? Like, what is the sitch on this like space colony? I'm just curious. Oh, and they mentioned that like everyone gets illnesses all the time from space colonies, and I'm like, what? Just like how we have COVID and our jobs don't care. Da, 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 da. So that was an interesting thing. And anyway, I think I'm making this too long, so I'll try to go shorter. But yeah, we wonder, how did they get time off? Aren't they being monitored? It seems like everyone's being monitored on this strange space colony. And one of the guys like hates the robot guy because his mom died because a robot didn't let, and they're not robots, they're like synthetic people. They're androids, synthetic people. So his mom died because one didn't let her come back in because part of the gas leak was happening, so he sectioned it off to save everybody else. And you're like, well, he was doing his job, he's doing what he had to do. But understandable, this guy's bitter now and hates all the robots, even awkward, funny ones like the one in the movie. So yes, they are going to the space station and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna dip in and dip out. We're just gonna get the few things we need and that's it. And we're gonna be straight up out of there. Of course we know that's not gonna be the case. It's just not. It's not gonna happen. They're gonna get annihilated by aliens, by one alien or many. The trailer makes it look like many. Yeah, so they go to the space station and it's like, oh, the space station's gonna like kerplode in a certain amount of time because it's gonna crash in these rings. So we gotta make sure we're timed. They're like, it's gonna take like 2 minutes tops. It's gonna take 2 minutes and we're just gonna be right out of there. Of course we know that's not gonna happen because it's a movie and this is their destiny, unfortunately. Also, this is directed by the guy who did the Evil Dead remake, which I think is just the best. I rewatch it like all the time. I love it. It's just so nasty and fun. They go to the space station and they're like, okay, we gotta figure out where the pods are. So they're like looking for the pods. They like find the pods, but the pods need some kind of oil or gas or whatever, something. So they're like, oh shit, we gotta find that. And you're like, oh, here it goes. Here it goes. Already things are getting more complicated. So they go to find the substance or whatever that the pods need, the sleepy pods, which is so creepy. Just the idea of like being frozen and traveling, I think is just like awful. If the future comes and that's what it's like, I'm not sure. I might just stay on shitty Earth, you know, shitty like Blade Runner Earth, which is kind of romantic in its own way. Anyway, so they go into the room with all the coolant shit and you're just like, uh-oh, there's like a zillion little alien guys just chilling in little jars basically. I might not be remembering everything perfectly well, but I'm gonna do my best. They're chilling and you're just like, oh, y'all are totally fucked. Like, it's gonna happen. And yes, indeed, the aliens start breaking out of there. They're like, what is that? What is that? Oh, well, first they get trapped. Now I'm remembering, they get trapped in the area because they like trigger something. Also, they gave the robot guy like an update and it made him lose all his malfunctioning because they steal a chip from this other synthetic that has perished seemingly, and they stick it in this guy, dorky guy, and all of a sudden he's like, I don't got no stutter anymore. I'm a real champ now. But as you'll notice, then he's kind of evil. So then they are trapped in this like little area, this room, like some buzzers go off and all that shit. And so then the people on the ship are like, oh no, we gotta help save them. They're like, oh, we gotta save them. You know, it's no good. We gotta help our friends, as people do, understandably. So as you're seeing, this is already turning out to not to go well. It's already turning out not to go well. So they go to the room and the aliens start breaking out. They start slithering around and everyone's like, oh shit, because it's bad. No, we don't want no slithery aliens around. No good. So they try to attach to your face so they can like impregnate you with their spawn inside your body. Not cool. We don't recommend it. So then they're like trying to get out of the room and they're trying to smash in all the aliens so that they stay in the room. And I think they like just barely, they're jumping out and they're running. Somehow in the process, you know what, I don't totally remember everything about this movie, so we're just gonna gloss over certain parts. Running, everybody's running, and then shaved head girl, gets one right attached to her face, and we know that she is totally fucked. It's not gonna be good. So it attaches to her face, and they're like, oh shit, because it like wraps around your throat, and you can't, and robot guy is like, it will kill her if we remove it. We cannot remove it. And they're like, well, what if we freeze the tail? And they're like, well, that might work. And also the other synthetic, I think, is now talking, I'm pretty sure. And it is Ian Holm from Ian Holm from the first Alien. And they did the thing with his face where they make him look young again, but it doesn't look that convincing. It always looks like CGI, it really does. I think they're very impressed with themselves, like every time, but it's not that impressive. It doesn't look that real. It attached to her face and they gotta freeze the tail off. And finally they get that sucker off, but she's still screwed and she's not feeling good, guys. She's freaking out because there was an alien attached to her face that like put its tail thing all the way down her throat. See, you think you're just gonna steal some sleepy pods and escape and go to a beautiful planet, and then you would be wrong about that. You would not be right. Unfortunately, that's how horror movies work. Fortunately for the viewer who wants to have some thrills, yes. Yeah, my memory is not totally the best around here. They get it off her face, and they're like, we gotta get out of here, right? Yeah, I think, all right, the next part is the blur. They gotta get out of there. You know what? Maybe I should go watch the movie again. I think I will. So this is the first half. We got done with the first half of the movie. Then I'm gonna watch it again and we'll see the second half, okay? Okay, sounds good. Sorry, my movie review is flawed. That's okay though. I do love the Alien movies because it's just cool looking, the alien guy. And then everyone's always so in love with it. Like the synthetics are always like, it is a perfect being. It is the perfect being. We should not destroy it. There's always someone who's like, we should not destroy the alien. It is a perfect being. And then everyone else is like, gross, you're gross and weird. You're being weirdo. And it's always like the company wants it. We gotta do it for the company. Yeah, and everyone else is just like, barf, it's a murderer, it kills everything, and it's got like a head inside its head, no. So it's contentious. Some people seem to really love it. I mean, we love it as viewers because it's good and scary, but we want it to die, like, of course. I definitely want it to die because I want the little human beings who I see myself in to survive. So, yes, this is the first part. We'll get into the rest after I rewatch it. Thank you for your time. I hope this is entertaining.